Disclaimer, the comments made in this video are intended for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to offend anyone. Seems everyone is just as tired of these riots disguised as protests. Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're watching everything anti-woke. What in Tony's voice? What's up with that like button, homie? Why are they so obsessed with blocking roads? Don't they do enough by blocking puberty? So family friendly. I can't even imagine how much appropriate fun children had during Pride parades.
You know, wandering around the van. I'm not sure on San Francisco's laws or California's laws. Is it legal for nudity to be presented in front of kids?
Nudity is legal, yeah, within certain boundaries.
But what are the boundaries? Do you know?
Coupled with a lewd act. Yeah, anything coupled with a lewd act or anything being done for gratification that involves other people. Basically.
Okay, but this event wouldn't be considered a fakefication.
No, if they're walking around and it's out, that's right. That'd be different than if they're masturbating.
This was in San Francisco during the Pride Month of 2025. That was just a few weeks ago. Meanwhile, this was the vibe in Tbilisi, Georgia. Yeah, I don't really blame them. Do you?
Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here?
I'm here to have conversation.
Why are you being offensive? You need to go.
Do you want to move over there?
Yeah, sure.
For your own
I'm
safety.
just standing here.
For your own safety. Come on. Come on.
I'm allowed to stand here.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to move away for your own safety.
Move away
Because they're obviously quite aggravated with you, aren't they?
Okay, so now I'm standing here. So now where do you want me to go?
Back over a bit further and I'll have a chat with you.
Like on the street?
Yeah, just go over onto that island there and I'll have a chat with you, all right?
Okay. So you're telling me I'm not allowed to stand on this public street
I'm telling you at the moment, I'm moving you over there to prevent the breach of the peace. Come on, come over there and let's have a chat.
Wait a minute. People coming and
Let's
getting in
go
my
over
face
there.
means I'm breaching the
You're
peace?
causing them to do that, aren't you? So
how am I doing that?
Move over and I'll have a chat with you over
How am I
here.
causing them to do that?
Well, I don't know what you're doing, but you were
just standing there.
you were getting extremely hostile.
They're getting
response,
hostile
weren't
with me. I've got it all on video.
Okay, that's fine. And you've got me on video.
Yeah.
All right, so this is for your safety.
If that police officer is your husband, father, uncle, friend, or son, I feel so bad for you. What terrible luck. Apparently they were eating at a restaurant that the Palestine gods told them to boycott or something.
Pride parades should be banned.
Truth of the fucking matter is you're surrounded by 25 really proud LGBTQIA people who do not give a fuck about you.
You obviously do. You're here talking to me. What are you talking about? You obviously care what I have to
because
say.
you give
You're
such
sitting
a hard
6 inches from
about
me.
us.
Yeah, some just want to be on YouTube. No, I'll tell you what. Look, we can.
Obsessed, and it's harmful when in history, but also today. This month alone, our entire government is run by straight white men who are hurting these communities. And I know you live on a pedestal, and you were able to put on your little suit today,
Live on a
spray on
pedestal.
your little cologne.
It's very nice. I didn't put on any cologne. That's just my musk. That's my natural musk. Wait, hold on.
Correction, you should have put on
Oh,
cologne.
wow. Real nice.
Exactly.
Real nice.
But now let's imagine a world where you had to put on a dress and you had to put on heels.
I'd prefer not to. Yeah, I don't think I would do that.
So what do you do about the people in society who have to put on their suit to live and who have to have a wife to live? Because
I don't
according to your
understand
views,
what you're asking
people
me.
should.
I
no
don't-
matter what
huh?
you feel deep
I
inside,
don't-
according to your views, people
I don't think anyone
should.
should be forced to be married or.
You're telling me you just spent your entire last 3 hours talking about how my people, men, should not be dressed in gowns.
Well, I think you're
and dresses.
dressed fine. You're wearing a big
And so
T-shirt.
what if I wore
don't know, and I
a
like your
skirt today?
crucifix. I would
Do you
I would
need me to show
discourage
you
you.
the thong that I'm wearing underneath.
I
this
would
to
I
prove a
would
point?
I don't need you to show me that.
Exactly.
I would suggest you not do that, but I don't really care that much.
So let's just go back to the point.
Yeah. What is the
Eradicating
point at hand?
Your claim, your
Yeah.
idiotic claim that we should just stop LGBTQ pride.
See how a single claim was not made to refute? Yeah, exactly.
I met that dancing bear out here in front of the WeHo. Oh my gosh.
What has been your favorite part of this event so far?
I loved going out there and seeing all the kids.
Trust me, we know.
Are you a Kamala supporter? Sounds good. Can you tell us why do you support Kamala?
To be honest, one, her policies, whether it's dealing with the middle class, abortion, I'm for that. And then also, Trump just doesn't have any clear policy. Like, his head isn't in the right space to be running for president. It's just, a lot of what he says is very harmful. And I don't want that to be my president. I don't want him.
But he's the one that got shot. How's he saying the harmful stuff?
I don't know. Let's look at what he says. Of course he got shot.
She said, well, she said that Trump's rhetoric is harmful, but he's the one that got shot. So I'm trying to put the two together.
I really hate they missed.
No, that's
You said you hate that they missed?
Mm-hmm.
So are you advocating for political violence? So you're voting for Kamala?
Yeah.
And you want Trump to be dead?
Yeah. Not to be dead, but not.
But you said that you wish that they didn't miss, right?
Yeah.
So aren't you advocating for his death?
Yeah.
Does that make you a good human?
I don't. Is he a good human?
Well, he brought you lower taxes. He made you more affordable housing. No, you didn't? Okay. Do you like IRS data, or do you deny objective facts like IRS data?
I thought college was the place to get higher education.
If you guys had a message for ICE, what would you say?
No one's harming anybody. Like we all should come together.
Not a single glimpse of light behind those eyes. And a church group in New Zealand refused to have the baked and half-baked parade in the streets. Just another day fighting wokeism.
We always came here on a peaceful protest. We came out to share what we believe society needs, which is the removal of craziness. There is only two genders. There's no procreation without it. We came to talk about that, but we were actually greeted in the public square with hostility. A couple of our guys have bruises on his forehead, cuts on his arms. When I said to the police, who eventually turned up, that the rainbow community that talks about being inclusive and loving, you know, the disgusting words, spitting, physically pushing, grabbing, police would do nothing. Actually, I asked to put in a complaint, a physical harm complaint, and they refused to obtain the details of that person or the persons. There were actually young females also who were trying to harm the men, and obviously we're not going to touch them. It's unfortunate to go into to be greeted by that, the rainbow community, the inclusive community, the loving community. It's not loving. It wasn't inclusive. They didn't want us there, and they were hateful. They don't want to hear a message that's logical. If you have a confusion about your gender, that's okay. Just do that in your own home. Don't come into a public space that belongs to you.
Trans and supporting Trump.
I didn't read that.
Jesus. I thought it was about pride, good emotions. The security won't stop following me. Why are you still following me? Do you identify as a bully? So why didn't you do anything when the person was screaming you and having to be hauled off by his friend? Only when I ask questions respectfully to everyone? Okay. Hey, boo, what's up? We're being treated kind of badly here.
Oh, I'm sorry. And do not engage with the police, don't engage with.
Look how crazy this person is.
Yeah.
This is a fan of mine. Get away from me. You're filming me saying these are conservatives, so it kind of sounds like you have a problem.
Blair must have missed the inclusivity memo. You can only be included if you are as delusional. I mean, come on.
White people? Never.
Oh, what about white people? Go ahead.
Act like this. Like,
What act like what? How am I acting?
just so disrespectful. Like,
You've
why did
been
you guys have to come for families? Like,
What are you talking about? He
families-
made wait, so it's okay for you to make a joke, but he can't make a joke. Just to be clear, you can be towards us in joke format, but we
How
can't
am I
return. So why are women the prize though?
told you.
You just said.
Lies already.
Did
it drop the other ear? You
Yes.
Trump-loving, cheek-clapping man.
No, you're bringing politics into
Wait,
it.
did you vote
Yikes.
for- you said I'm a Trump lover. You don't even know my politics.
That's crazy. Like, you guys literally have low IQs.
I think he's just mad he's going to support your family.
Oh. That was brutal.
You said we had low IQ. You said we were stupid before he made that comment. Do you need us to rewind the tape?
Because you guys
We
said
have
you guys
low
voted for
IQ.
Trump. That you guys like Trump.
Who's a Trump voter here?
I would be if I was in the U.S.
Cool.
I would be.
Cool.
Yeah.
You think it's low IQ?
Wait, yeah, I do think.
Have you taken the IQ test? What's your IQ?
I'm not gonna tell you, but no, I haven't.
You probably
taken
haven't taken one.
That silence was loud. So does she have family members who are in the US illegally? Crazy.
I did a study abroad in the Middle East with Israel and Palestine.
Would you say you're pro-Palestine or pro-Israel?
Pro-Palestine.
As a gay man, I would be punished and or put in prison or killed if I were openly gay in Palestine. How do you react to that?
I didn't know that. So
It is illegal to be gay in Palestine. You are punished by prison or death.
Israel?
No, Israel has gay pride. Israel is completely open to lesbian and gay people. Palestine puts them in prison or kills them. You weren't aware of that?
I was not aware of that.
So what did you learn in your study? Everyone knows where Palestine stands on human rights and freedom. Well, everyone except woke liberals.
A child is a blessing, not a disease.
Do you know what a zygote is?
I do.
Okay.
It's a human being.
Might be.
It might be.
He's not
or it
born
is.
yet. How's he going to be a human being until he's born?
So a human being's only human being when it's born.
He only has a legal status like that.
So legality determines humanity.
And I can protect.
So
I can
does
protect
legality
babies.
determine humanity?
No, it is not a child yet.
I just told you it's a human being, and you said yes.
So, is it murder when somebody falls off a mountain and kills themselves? They died.
That baby is not killing themselves. The mother is, fortunately. Do you believe that abortions are right just when they want to, just because they don't want the child? It's a right to have an abortion?
That is not that simple. And if you were a lady, you would know the difference.
My mother taught me all my pro-life values.
Oh, I see. And what church did she preach at?
She didn't preach. She's just a normal lady.
You can have all the pro-life values you want, but do not force me to take on your religious values.
I'm not forcing you.
I
I'm just
know,
here telling
but you
the
would
truth.
like to.
I'm not forcing you.
You would like to.
I'm here telling the truth.
I'm here telling you you're full of
You haven't given one argument yet except a bunch of insults.
That's a professor at the University of Houston. A professor. He can't even articulate an intelligent statement, much less a smart argument. They are lucky they didn't get run over for being foolish. What does blocking cars have to do with the government and oil?
Is agreeing to voter ID one of those compromises that you'd support?
I don't think that we should underestimate what that could mean. Because in some people's mind, that means, well, you're going to have to Xerox or photocopy your ID to send it in to prove you are who you are. Well, there are a whole lot of people, especially people who live in rural communities, who don't. There's no Kinko's, there's no Office Max near them. Well, there are a whole lot of people, especially people who live in rural communities, who don't. There's no Kinko's, there's no Office Max near them.
You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who are very proud of their lawn.
I have to be honest, you guys. I miss Kamala Harris. This is good right here.
We mean that calling for indigenous liberation in Palestine is a call for indigenous liberation worldwide, and it is a call to put indigenous lands back in indigenous hands.
Hello, moron. Welcome to my TED Talks, where I tell you that you are literally fighting against the only people in the world to ever reconquer their indigenous homeland. Hi, we're the Jews, and we are native to Israel, the land that we now have. You are fighting for our colonizers to keep the land colonized and literally saying the opposite. It's embarrassing. You're a moron. Thank you for coming to my TED Talks.
Honestly, I think the problem is that she didn't say indigenous one more time for good luck. That's why she got owned.
Would you agree/disagree that the Make America movement, Make America Great movement, again, MAGA movement, is a cult?
No. Why don't you explain to me and the audience what is a cult?
Of course. Okay. Do you know any characteristics of a cult?
Sure. I mean, you could take the Jonestown death cult, of which there was a charismatic leader that constantly lied people, and they took them out of everyday normal life and leads them towards ostracization and cutting off of family ties. Am I getting closer to describing the Democrat Party?
According to the no, what I'm talking about is MAGA. According to the Bethune Cook University website, characteristics of a cult include isolating members and criticizing them for leaving. Would you say that members of the MAGA movement will criticize others for leaving?
Well, yeah, I mean, but you guys criticize players that transfer out of the University of Tennessee football team. That's not a cult. I would encourage you to dig deeper and be more of a free thinker.
And I will, and I am a free thinker. And I grew up in a conservative household, and once I left my parents and their beliefs, and I moved to college in a very conservative state, I actually become more progressive.
Okay, and so how is your relationship with your parents?
I mean, it's fine. We don't agree on most things, but...
Wait, so they didn't kick you out for having a different opinion? They're terrible cult members.
Yeah, I know we covered her last time, but I just had to see her face again. Those poor parents of hers, though.
I'm sure you were.
Just curious, where you get your information from.
Because
I'm just wondering.
I read a lot of books. I think that the best place to learn from is history and.
What about the people who lived through it? What about the people who lived through it?
And comparing conflicts is really interesting.
Okay, so I lived through the war. You were never in Gaza. I was in Gaza.
I've been to Gaza.
When were you in Gaza?
I was near, I'm not sure, but I was in Gaza. I was also in...
I'm sure you were.
Question. But you were in Gaza, you said? How old are you?
I'm 20.
20.
Both of my parents are blacklisted. I haven't been there for many years.
So when were
I'm
you
not
there?
allowed back.
When were you there?
When I was a baby. I was...
So how many years ago, approximately?
Years.
Many years?
Like many years, yeah.
You know that Jews and Arabs lived side by side in Gaza, but because of terrorists, they had to close the borders. Egypt put a stricter border between the Gazans.
You're missing out a lot of context.
Wait.
And order of events.
I'm asking you a legitimate.
Right.
If Gaza put a stricter border between Gaza and Egypt, why on earth are they not attacking Egypt?
Wait, she's not lying. We were in Gaza together. We had an outdoor bikini party with a bunch of their covered women. Good times.
Phrase, however, was uttered by crusaders as they were slaughtering Jews and Muslims during the Second Crusade specifically. So it's not just a random cross. It's not just a random phrase.
That isn't true.
It's not true.
It is true. The phrase was uttered after the Council of Clermont when Pope Urban II declared the crusade. And it was actually probably Dieu le veut, but it's been rendered in Latin as Deus vult. It has nothing to do with slaughtering Jews. It has nothing to do with slaughtering Muslims, because the Muslims had invaded Europe, not the other way around.
Are you really saying that the reason the crusade, which was sent to the Holy Land to liberate the Holy Land, from whom? From Jews and Muslims.
The crusade began because the Eastern I'll tell you why the crusade began. The crusade began because the Eastern Emperor asked for help from the Western Pope, because the Seljuk Turks were slaughtering Christians in the Holy Land. Those lands were Christian before the Muslims invaded in the 7th century. So that's why.
Quick question. Are you in any way related to Kamala's scriptwriter? The color pink is starting to lose its beauty. Tell someone to take a history course.
So a lot of people criticize me for dating a trans woman in 2025 of all years, saying that I am a homosexual for doing so. And I think it's very bigoted, but surface level to say such a thing like that, because women have many features. They have beautiful eyes. The thing that I love about my trans girlfriend is her beautiful eyes, her beautiful lips, her beautiful chest, her beautiful arms. Just because one part is not approved in societal standards, it must mean that I'm a homosexual for being in love with a woman. Are you telling me that this much real estate you can't overlook in a relationship? That if this much real estate on her beautiful body is wrong to you, wrong by societal standards, that must mean you have a totally different orientation? I don't believe it. I think society has gone mad. I think it's insane. I think it's absolutely abhorrent that this much real estate, you can't push it to the side. You can't overlook that. I did not fall in love with this woman because what she has in her genes. I fell in love with her heart. And even, I'm not saying that I'm not into physical features, but I fell in love with many physical features. And you think that one physical feature that I'm not into is going to make me not be in love with my girlfriend? That is the most narcissistic thing that you could say.
You're in the US, bro. It's okay. You can be open about it. Anyway, I do gotta ask, why are you gay?
There's so much talk about a woman's body, her choice, and like that. Yeah. My question is, if we give a woman the right to opt out of motherhood, should we also give a man the right to opt out of fatherhood and 18 years of child support?
I agree. You don't agree?
No, I don't know.
But if a mom walks into an abortion clinic and says, you know what, I'm not feeling this, and gets an abortion, the dad has no say. How come this mom can't? Let's just say it's a one-night stand, just hypothetical, and the mom comes back to the dad and is like, hey, I'm pregnant. Why can't he opt out if she was able to say, hey, I don't want this baby? It's a double standard.
Well, he could obviously sign his rights away, but he cannot physically make
he can't sign his rights away because he has to pay child support. He is legally bound by child support.
Honest, that's just the way it is.
I know, but do you think it's right?
You can't tell a woman to have an abortion. Like, that's it.
No, but do you think it's right that a mom can say, I don't want this baby, but a dad never can?
I just think that's just the way it is.
But do you think it's right?
I mean,
yes or no? I don't think it's right. I think the whole system's fucked.
We spend so much time talking about a woman's choice.
Right, but the man doesn't have one.
But my only point is, what reproductive rights does a man have?
None.
Somebody buy the woman with the microphone and expensive dinner, then get her away from liberals. Her IQ is wasting away.
Is a prepubescent child immature?
I don't sugarcoat things. Fact is, she was 6 and then 9 when she consummated the marriage, yeah?
When did she get married?
They got married when she was 6.
Right.
Yeah.
Should you marry an immature child?
Well, obviously, her parents went along with it, yeah?
That's not my question.
Yeah, it is, because the child...
No, my question was, should you marry an immature child? Should you marry? Would you let a 6-year-old child marry?
Yeah, but you're bringing back then to now. This is what I mean. You're too emotional about now.
I'm really not.
You really are, because you're thinking so small. You're not opening your mind up.
There's nothing to open your mind up to. That we're talking about a child who cannot make an informed choice.
A woman defending pedophilia, isn't that an enigma?
Could you explain to me, why do you think people are paying up to £5,000 to get here illegally rather than pay 28 quid on a Wizz Air flight from Albania?
Because they don't have the possibility to apply for legal migration. That's the problem. And to apply for visa.
Come back to you. Why can't they just visit the country for 28 quid and then claim asylum?
I don't have this information.
No, you do. Is it perhaps, do you think, because if they come legally and produce a passport and documents, that our authorities, our border control, know exactly who these people are, where they're from, and any activities, illegal activities they may be involved in the past? Do you think that may be the reason?
Well, I don't have any answer for.
How did these people get seats in the government? It's not just the UK, it's starting in Sweden already too. It was the US up until last year, and I have a feeling it might be the whole world soon.
What do you think of the Black Lives Matter movement?
Okay, I know you're gonna clip me, and that's fine, but I hate it. I hate the Black Lives Matter movement, but this is the reason why. Because I didn't like the fact that they kind of rallied behind, when you look at his record, he broke into women's houses and was choking them out and knives at them and robbing them and stuff. So I don't agree with that. I think that the most effective thing that us as black people, I hate the word black people, but black people have ever had was boycotting. And I don't think that like looting or any of that stuff works. I don't like Black Lives Matter also because as far as my community, I'm not talking to you for a second, sir. I'm talking to my community. If they are to watch me, you can hate me in the comments, whatever. But I feel like there are so many more pressing matters than police violence. Like we need to get our families back together. We need to have the fathers back in the household. We need to like start worrying about our people and what we got going on and stuff. And that doesn't mean like separating from everybody else or hating anyone else. It just means that we need to like kind of focus on our things and stop the hate, because we were never people of hate. Even when I am talking a lot, and excuse me, but even when slavery was happening and we had whips on our backs and beat on our necks, we were loving people, and that's what we need to be. We need to kill them with love and kill them with success, if anything, and remember God and get back to Him. But past that, like I didn't like the movement, because can I just say one last story about Black Lives Matter? I was out here in the streets and Black Lives Matter, and I passed by the rally. It was in Beverly Hills, the one I saw, and it was like a gang of white people. I was like, I don't know, I just don't feel like Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey and them would have loved that movement out here. So that's all I gotta say about Black Lives Matter. Of course Black Lives Matter, of course that's a true thing, but I don't like the movement. I don't like the fact that it was funded by radical lesbians, Marxists. I don't like none of that stuff, because that doesn't have anything in our best interest, and it was funded by a white dude, George Soros, so I don't like any of that stuff. Yeah.
They called him whitewashed, by the way. Said, why was he speaking like a white person? These are the issues.
Wait.
2007.
Okay, great.
I'm literally ranked top 25.
Well,
there's a lot of people with a lot of contradictory perspectives, and I give value to all of those perspectives because I'm open-minded.
Leading to a contradiction.
What that means is that because the moral issue remains unresolved, I think we should refer to a pragmatic solution.
Yes, but I'm going to show you why being pragmatic does not work. If, as a society...
Dude, I've debated 2007.
Okay, great.
I'm literally ranked top 25.
Well, I'm actually a professional debater. I debate professionally for a living. So let's go over this.
Dude,
this is perfect, though. I want to debate. If you're a good debater, let's debate.
Am I going to get posted on a social media?
Do you want to be posted?
I personally don't.
Okay.
And I would,
but if you're so good at debates, why wouldn't you want to post it?
Because I don't want my face attached to whatever your channel is.
Okay.
And I don't want to.
So you didn't do a good job representing your worldview. Got it.
When they start throwing elementary school extracurricular activities as credentials, they know nothing.
If I was killed as a kid and I didn't remember anything, would I give a shit that I was killed? No. I can't think.
Yeah,
I don't remember anything.
But is that
I don't have a reason to care? If I die at 2 years old.
Let me ask you an honest question. Do you remember whenever you were 1 week old?
Do you remember when you were 1 week?
Listen, if you were killed when you were 1 week old and you wouldn't remember, et cetera, all the stuff you said with all the colorful language, and would you care? No, you wouldn't.
If I was a fetus, I definitely wouldn't.
What I'm just saying, you don't remember things from when you were a fetus. You don't remember things whenever you were 2, right? Being able to remember something is not what makes us valuable. That's not our humanity.
Where do they pull these arguments from?
Today, February 28th, is the first day of the economic blackout, where we are standing strong together and not spending money at any major retail companies that have eliminated their DEI programs. Not me, though. I am starting my shopping spree actually at Target, so stay tuned for the haul.
I can't even keep count of what's been boycotted, but can you get me 2 of each?
You act like every aspect of my identity is another degree further removed from normal when normal is subjective. My transness does not diminish, my disability does not diminish my ethnicity. There are so many aspects of identities. Millennial, straight, able-bodied, autistic, black, white, English speaker, bilingual, farmer, construction worker, Republican, Democrat, racist, homophobe, Christian, pagan, Muslim, cat person, dog person, homeowner, redder. Everyone has a multifaceted identity, including you. However, your identity does not make you a target for harassment. Only certain ones receive systemic oppression. So people with those identities share it with others to find support. You think that makes them a liar? It's just brave and kind. If you genuinely don't like people like me, don't believe we exist, that we are liars or attention seekers, why are you here? Literally just keep it moving.
I never thought I'd say this, but I think I've scrolled too deep, guys. What even is this?
How frightening is it that someone on X, the owner of X, speaks to you directly to say, what did you do last week at work? And if you don't answer, I am going to fire you. But even more egregious, the president comes out the most powerful person in the land, and endorses that message.
You know, I love to bring the receipts. Oh, I love this one. $57,000 for climate change in Sri Lanka. What is this doing to continue the interests of the American people? Absolutely nothing. Doge and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza. That is a preposterous waste of taxpayer money. So that's what this pause is focused on, being good stewards of tax dollars.
Are you complaining about having to report your work? Shouldn't you be doing that already?
I'm not a witch. What does your sign mean? My sign means that I believe in women and their spirituality, and we need to believe in ourselves and our sisters. Are you a witch? Yes, I am. What's your favorite thing about being a witch? Freedom. Witches' rights? Witches' rights, women's rights, cats' rights, the freedom for all individuals to believe and act how they are. All right. All right. All right, baby!
Well, ain't that something? And that is a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for watching. You know the 3 magic words, right? See you in the next one.